back to my YouTube channel. I've been at home back in Germany in the past 10 days because we were asked to move out of our campus because of the COVID situation, and in terms of safety and whatnot, the college asked us to just go back home or go wherever we call home and to take online classes instead starting next week, because now we have our 1 week spring break extended to 2 weeks. So I've been trying to keep myself busy by, doing stuff. And today I just want to make a quick video about college decision process, because I'm aware that a lot of people have been accepted, rejected, or waitlisted or deferred to Middlebury as part of class of 2024 and 2024.5. And I also want to make this video for people who will be accepted in the future. I know it's been like 3 years since I got accepted to Middlebury and I had to choose which one to choose, but I thought it would be a nice idea to give you guys some ways to think about when it comes to geography, education environment, and just school life in general. Just a disclaimer, I have been sick in the past few weeks. I've been getting so much better though. I've been coughing less, but there may be some stuff in my throat still, so I may be coughing every once in a while. So if I'm coughing, there's nothing bad happening in my health. Fingers crossed. But yeah, anyway, at the end of the day, I was conflicted between UCLA and Middlebury, and those are two very contrasting schools because UCLA is a big public university, and I remember when I got in, the application pool was the largest in its history. I feel like it's getting bigger and bigger, so it may not hold true anymore. I was like very happy to have gotten into UCLA, and I was actually accepted to Middlebury on the very same day. So let me first tell you about why I wanted to go to UCLA and why I decided not to go to UCLA, and what I kind of regret about not choosing UCLA. UCLA had been my dream school since 10th grade, and one of the main reasons was that I really wanted to join this Korean dance club called Choreos. And
I had been watching their videos like every time they uploaded a video. Like I would always watch it since like 9th grade. I was like so into it.
I'm still a huge fan. But I realized like maybe that's not the only reason that I should go to UCLA. But then there was another good point about going to a city school like UCLA, because you have so much stuff to do in the city. You can just go to different places every weekend and kind of explore. Exploring has been a part of me for the longest time. I didn't realize that until much later in my sophomore year of Middlebury, which I'm gonna mention again later. But if geography is a key point in your decision process, go for it. But then also, when it comes to geography, there are many options for you to do so, to make it up to. When I chose Middlebury in my sophomore year, I was pretty isolated, especially because of the academic workload, but also I realized that if I ever wanted to go out, the only place that's closest to me is the town of Middlebury, which isn't really much of a city. So I was kind of sad about that, but then for me, I move places. I've been moving here and there every like 2 or 3 years, so once I hit 2 years of my life at Middlebury, I knew that I had to like study abroad or go somewhere, and that's why I chose Stockholm. And then I came back and I realized, okay, this is my home. Middlebury is my home. Coming back from study abroad in Stockholm, I realized that sometimes you need to have some change of scenery, and obviously you can by doing something like study abroad, or just like going to Montreal or Boston or New York. I mean, it's a pretty long drive, maybe 5 to 6 hours. Montreal is pretty close because it's only 2 hours long. I chose Middlebury because it was really worth it. Education quality differs a lot. In January, I had the opportunity to take 2 classes at UCLA as a visiting student, and I was able to really witness like in person how much different it is from the education that I've gotten at Middlebury. One class that I attended was a seminar, the other one was a general class with about like 30 or 40 students. People are just taking notes on their laptops, but at Middlebury, it's pretty common for professors to limit the computer usage and just say like there's no laptops allowed in class. And that's straight out stated in the beginning of the whole semester. Like in your first class when you get your syllabi, that's what the professor mentions, that you are not allowed to use your laptop unless you request your professor about it. I really like that because I like to write physically instead of typing it down, because it helps me memorize and learn so much faster and more efficiently. It may be like an individual preference, but also I feel like in general it's more important to use a traditional way to learn, and I think Middlebury really sticks to that. And I think that's part of the liberal arts education too, because not only do the professors focus on how the students learn, but also they want the students to engage with other people in class. And liberal arts education is really helpful in that, because with a small class size you can really participate and focus in class, whereas in classes with like even 50 students, I can't really concentrate because all I see are like laptops. And also I may be biased because I really only attended 2 classes from the same professor. But the general impression that those 2 classes at UCLA gave me was that people don't really pay attention. They have online notes. They really do not do anything like related to class. Like I literally saw someone like messaging people on LinkedIn or like going onto Facebook, looking at memes, texting people. You really don't see that in Middlebury because they just focus in class. So I think that's like one of the things that you should consider. I really focus on the education quality. So that was the major key point of my decision behind choosing Middlebury instead of UCLA. The classes are really fun. They're engaging. It also depends on the professors, to be honest, because professors are what makes classes engaging or not engaging. I always look at the review site called Mid Courses. It was made by one of the former students at Middlebury who now works at Google. He made this website with like all the classes and with different departments and different professors, so you can literally just search up the professors' names or the classes' names and look at the reviews, and then they're like professors' names, and then you can see like the reviews that the students have left. I find them pretty helpful, but also not quite, because they're not quite up to date in the sense that the new professors aren't there. So you kind of have to take a risk if this course is only held by the new professors. Like you just have to wing it. But then like for me, even without the reviews, I took the risk because I was like, why not? Like the course description seems interesting. Like it makes it look like I'm gonna miss out if I don't take it. That's what I did, and I ended up really enjoying it. So academic workload is like pretty rigorous, like that's out of the question. But as much as it's hard or takes a lot of time to do your homework or to understand like a simple concept, or not a simple concept, like complex ideas, you're not gonna regret it because it's gonna stick around. But what I really like about Middlebury is that like you actually enjoy studying. I don't know why I say this, but like I love all my classes. It's like the only semester at Middlebury where I've enjoyed all my classes, because I feel like language is really hard, and I decided not to take a language course this semester, and that really changed my whole schedule, because language takes a lot of time to learn in terms of like the vocabulary, words and grammar, reading, like writing, everything, because it's a whole different language that you're like trying to speak and write and whatnot. This semester I decided to take classes that are only really focused on my major and my minors, which are econ, math, and comp sci. So I think that was like the pretty neat idea for me to do. I know I've been like going here and there in terms of like choosing UCLA or like other schools like UCLA and Middlebury, but at the end of the day, it really depends on what you value and what you prioritize. Sophomore year, when I was going through a rough patch, I was like, why did I choose Middlebury if I definitely had the choice to choose UCLA? And like that's a city, like I'm a city girl. Why am I not like?
I could go to Coachella, I could go to like the Getty Villa, the Getty Museum, like go to K-Town or Little Tokyo.
All those things, but then I realized this is like once in a lifetime opportunity, and you don't really get to have this liberal arts education elsewhere. It didn't really hit me as hard until very recently. And there are also so many other school events at Middlebury that could make up to like the lack of social life that you think that you're having. For example, there's Winter Carnival, Snowball, that like Middlebury is like very unique part of. Middlebury College actually owns like this ski, not a resort, but like mountains, and every February there's like an event called Winter Carnival, and that's like a 3-day weekend, I think, in which students can choose to like ski, lots of like fun with winter sports, and then there were like tournaments with NESCAC schools with winter sports, and Middlebury is D1 in like ski and alpine and something else. So like Middlebury is really strong in those fields. So, and if you're interested in it, then like go for it. You can definitely have so much fun at Winter Carnival, at the Winter Ball, which is like a party. Middlebury has definitely been an emotional roller coaster. Through that, I was able to learn and recognize the privilege that I have been given. No matter how rural it is, or no matter like how isolated I was, it's like worth it, because you know that you're never gonna get this kind of opportunity again. And UCLA had been my dream school since 10th grade. That was like my dream school for like 2 years, and I know like people would be considering that too. There are other ways in which you could still go to UCLA. Like, I was a visiting student and I decided to do that, although it took me a hard time to get there and like to have it approved. I was still able to experience like some sort of college life at UCLA, and through that I realized that, okay, Middlebury is like, you know, go Panthers. If there are any questions, just please comment and ask me any questions. I hope it kind of helped you with deciding which college to choose. It's also like a very subjective opinion, because it's based solely from my experience at Middlebury and a short time at UCLA last January. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you.